If you love coastal cities with deep maritime history, medieval charm, and a dash of Titanic intrigue, an underrated cruise port that's a gateway to England's south coast, a perfect launching pad for, I don't know, Stonehenge, the New Forest, and even London. Southampton, England deserves a spot on your travel bucket list. Hi, I'm Leslie, and I'm traveling the world and sharing every single second of it with you. So thanks for being here, and without further delay, let's go check out Southampton, England. We're stepping off 3 incredible days in Paris and the Olympics, and the shift from the fast-paced, adrenaline-filled city of Paris to the quiet, historic charm of Southampton is just wild. To be honest, we're just so ready to slow down and sit down and enjoy England the way England should be enjoyed. We love the ports like this in Southampton, the ones where the Serenade of the Seas pulls right in close enough for us to walk straight into the city center. We step through the Westgate here, one of the original medieval entrances to the city, dating back over 800 years. This Westgate is the last place the passengers on the Titanic stepped before they boarded their ship in 1912. And we are walking on that same path. And the thought of that is just so surreal. You can walk the 665-year-old city wall of the Old Town here in Southampton, and one of the access points is right here at the West Gate. You'll see the steps when you walk through the gate. They're over your shoulder to the right. The walk's about 1.25 miles long. It includes 13 towers, 6 city gates, and a bunch of interpretive panels and the incredible views. And this little town, it's just absolutely silent. We're up before the locals are up. We're wandering through the city streets before everyone has kind of come out. And there's something special about wandering these old coastal towns before anyone's awake. It's really the best way to truly see and feel and experience a place before the crowds and before the rush. Just us, the history of this city, and this quiet. One thing we didn't expect here in Southampton is these little lighthouse sculptures. They're scattered throughout the entire city. They're part of what's called the Light of the South Art Trail. Each one is painted in a different way and by a different artist to celebrate the city's unique maritime past. We had a little scavenger hunt with these lighthouses. I'm a huge lighthouse lover and I'm totally here for it. Next stop, we stop into St. Michael's Church. This adorable little church has been standing since the 11th century, and something about it just instantly reminds me of the Lutheran church my grandmother went to when she was alive for 50 years in Denver, Colorado. And she was such a huge part of her church that I could see her embroidering these little kneeling pads that they had at each one of the pews. And if you know me, you know that my grandmother was she should have been canonized. She was absolutely an amazing person. And I light a candle for her in every church I go into. Got a little bit of her spirit all over the world. And here in St. Michael, my brother's name's Michael. He was super close to her as well. So I have a kind of a moment here in St. Michael lighting another candle for her, and just a sweet little warm, beautiful church. Take note of this Titanic bar because we'll come back to it later. As we wander further into the city, we stumble on this Hampton Street mural, a stunning depiction of Southampton's entire history on one piece of art. It was so well done and just so different and cool. I totally loved it. It spans from the Roman times to the modern era, and it's like a history book on the wall. And right next to it is the coolest mosaic quilt mural. Although it was created in 2013, it literally looked like a quilt on the wall, and out of these little mosaic tiles showcases the city's transformation in a beautifully detailed tile work. It just was really cool. We stop in a super cool record store because Roy's into old time pocket record stores. So every time we see one, we always have to stop in. Of course, we can't be in Southampton without diving into the Titanic history. This museum takes us deep into the story with interactive exhibits. And it was funny because one of them was you could actually navigate the ship through a very narrow passageway. And if I remember right, it was like a little timed experience. And so you had to navigate and get through and not hit anything. And I was successful. Roy, on the other hand, he definitely will not be navigating any ships. I'll take the helm there. And this Titanic museum is definitely one that you will want to stop into. Southampton and its connection of the journey for the Titanic is really special. And this museum was really well done and worth the visit for sure. It's funny though, because they show a replica of the Titanic cabins, which just gave us pause because we're comparing it to our 179 square foot cruise cabin on the World Cruise. And just as a side note, we were super worried about being in 179 square feet for 9 months. And our cabin on the Serenade, you know, it took a lot of organization and, you know, efficiency and making sure things had their spots and were put away. But we were so comfortable in our cabin. We had zero issues with the size of it. We weren't stumbling over each other. We had spots for everything. And I have a video that I took kind of giving you the tour of our cabin. So this is a balcony cabin. We're in the front of the ship on the 10th floor. There's plenty of storage in the closet. I got this storage unit for our door, which I love, for restocking supplies. Little sofa, love CD thing. It's got a little ledge on the back for all of our electronics. The bed is a new mattress, new pillows, all super comfortable. Oh, cutie bug. And big spacious balcony. All the walls are magnets. Have plenty of storage in all the cabinets. We decorated for Christmas. Oh. And here's the bathroom. Plenty of storage and shelves and room. There, that medicine cabinet opens. Super comfy, super cozy. We feel like we have plenty of space and it totally works for us. We love it. Thank you, Royal Caribbean. So you can kind of compare it to this one that we saw for the Titanic. And they have this display of the newspaper article that was written about the Titanic. This one in particular was the strangest questions people asked about the Titanic after the loss. So where do icebergs come from? Of what are icebergs composed? Don't icebergs expel rays of light? What? Was she fitted with watertight compartments? Is 48 degrees Fahrenheit above zero? I don't know, just none of those questions seem appropriate. They're just really bonkers, but also, you know, maybe just the magnitude of the Titanic going down. People are just overwhelmed, and so they just ask bonkers questions, but we walk back through Bargate, the medieval gatehouse that once protected Southampton from invaders, and the lions that are carved into it. They've been restored multiple times to keep watch over the city. Seeing these city walls just never gets old for me. Somehow, I don't know, we inevitably end up where all roads in Southampton seem to lead, at a pub. And we actually did multiple pubs. Of course, we have to stop back at the Titanic pub, but then we're working our way back to the cruise ship, so it kind of became a pub crawl. Our first stop, of course, is the Titanic pub. And, you know, it's just kind of your basic English pub. Nothing really, it had a Titanic theme, but otherwise it was just, you know, your basic pub. Then we make our way to the Duke of Wellington pub, which is a 12th century pub that still has its original wooden beams. It was so English, so we love England, we love London, we love pubs. And this place was just exactly what we were looking for. If we had sat down in this pub and that's all we did in Southampton, we would have definitely wanted to see the Titanic Museum. And this walking through the cobblestone streets of the city was cool. But if all we did was sit in this pub, the Wellington pub, we would have had a great time in Southampton because this place was just so cool. The quintessential English pub that has kind of rooms, you walk around, you know, it's like sectioned off, old wooden bench seating and the wooden bar. The staff there was just super cool. We're sitting at our table and up on the wall, they have postcards from patrons all over the world, and we just happen to be sitting right below a postcard from Arizona. And if you know me, you know that we live in Arizona, so it was just such a full circle moment, and we absolutely loved this pub. The fact that we're now part of this pub's long story, the Roy and Leslie stamp on the Wellington, just such a cool place. Back on board just in time for the Olympic opening ceremonies. Now, having been in Paris for the Olympics, if you watched my last video, it was covering all that we did in Paris and everyone that said, don't go to Paris during the Olympics. And we had a blast and we felt like we were the only ones in Paris for the Olympics. But having just been there, we were not gonna miss the opening ceremonies. Now, having said that, I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on the opening ceremonies because I had such high hopes and I was so excited to watch it, and I was really positive and like enjoying it, and then it just went off the rails. I thought, I don't know, it just felt so weird. So I would love to hear your comments if you watched the opening ceremonies. Put them down below. But also it was really cool to watch because obviously they're filming Paris throughout the opening ceremonies. And I kept saying, oh my gosh, we were there and I have that picture. And we got the greatest picture from the Eiffel Tower, two of them actually, from the Eiffel Tower down in the award where they received their medals area, and then also back towards the Eiffel Tower with the Olympic rings on the side of the tower. The city was so decorated. It was such a special part of our world travels that if you haven't watched that Paris video, you definitely want to go back and watch it. And just like that, another city, another chapter. We're a little disappointed that we're not spending more time in England. However, just because we love England so much, but we love it because we have gone and seen it and done a lot of England. So we're actually okay because our next stop is going to be so super cool. So as you look at this map, I'm wondering if you have any thoughts of where we're heading. You guessed it, next up is Belgium. A whole new world awaits us in Belgium. A city of canals, medieval charm, and most importantly, waffles. Belgium waffles, among other things, but Belgium waffles. That has my name written all over it. So before we head off to Belgium, I would love to hear your thoughts on the video today on Southampton. If you've been in this area, we've seen a lot of the Titanic recently because obviously here at Southampton, and then we were at the stop in Cove, Ireland. And so, yeah, it's just special being on the Ultimate World Cruise and, you know, being able to see anything about the Titanic is just, yeah, it's just surreal, and it's not lost on us that this journey on a cruise ship all over the world is not only an exceptional way to travel for us, but it's obviously, you know, steeped in history. So I just would be interested to hear what you think about the video today about Southampton, if you've been in this area, and just any of your feedback. I love your comments, and I, good, bad, or otherwise, love to hear them. So please put your comments below. And again, before we head off to Bruges, Belgium, now would be a good time to remind you to subscribe so you're notified of the Bruges video. This is one you don't want to miss. We are shifting gears completely. Bruges is just so different. I know nothing about Belgium, and so seeing it, and yeah, it is a special place. So you definitely don't want to miss the Bruges video. So be sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when that video is posted. As always, thank you so much for being here. I love sharing these stops with you and the world with you. It's an incredibly beautiful place, and I absolutely love it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You could be anywhere, and I just appreciate you being here, supporting me. So on that note, until Bruges, Belgium, bye for now.